Good morning. Many people have a very special awareness of the abilities that they have. They view their abilities as gifts that they've been given, not earned, but given. Let's explore some of the gifts we have seen and realized from people we've known and come to appreciate. Look with me at the gift of healing. My life and my body have been extremely blessed through the years with the healing minds, hearts, and hands of doctors through osteomyelitis, encephalitis, appendicitis, a new knee, shingles, and so forth. I have been the recipient of the healing ministry of medical persons. Each has been given a special gift of the ability to diagnose, heal, and cure, and have used that gift to bring healing to thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. Nurses, lab technicians, therapists must be included in the work of the healing ministry. Teachers, professors, and educators by the millions have been granted such marvelous gifts to help people learn and grow in mind, body, and spirit. I think personally of Dr. Stephen J. England, Dean of the Seminary of Phillips University, when I attended. Under his guidance and counsel, I came to know in an extremely rare and wonderful way who Jesus is as the Christ, the Son of God. 1 year, 2 semesters, I was privileged, and I say that very significantly, very carefully. I was privileged to sit under Dean England and grapple and wrestle with a study of the life of Jesus Christ. My entire life, certainly my preaching and my teaching, has been affected by the very great privilege of listening to Dean England share his gift and knowledge and faith about Jesus. We need to think about the gifts that we have received, and we need to consider those gifts in the specific. Who has shared their gifts with us? What persons are now sharing their gifts with us? We come to a gradual and growing awareness of being the recipients of some specific people who have shared their life's gifts by giving their gifts away. I have a wonderful granddaughter who is a specialist in working with children with autism. I am delighted and astounded as she relates her successes in sharing her gift of teaching and guiding autistic children to grow in their ability to overcome their particular problems. I tell her that her work is a ministry of healing, about which I am firmly convinced. Given a gift of healing, she is giving her gift to others through teaching and therapy with these children. How many other persons do you know who are blessed with gifts and are living out their lives, sharing their gifts with others? And what other gifts could you think of as we search our minds? The gift of cooking, the gift of cleaning a house, the gift of forgiveness, the gift of caring for another person, the gift of singing, or our personal gifts that we use every day, probably without much thought unless the ability gift is threatened to be taken away. The gift of tasting, the gift of using our tongue, the gift of speaking, the gift of seeing, the gift of hearing, the wonderful gift of breathing, the gift of walking, and so on and on and on. How many could we possibly list that we would perceive, if we wanted to look closely, that we have received, and they are gifts? There is a little question of stewardship here, isn't there? Having received gifts and still receiving gifts, are we really responsible for what we do with our gifts? One of Jesus' rather unusual statements of truth, one which has to be searched for the hidden and essential truth of the words, is stated in Matthew 16:25. Quote, "For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it." What a wonderful statement. And you've got to search out what that really means. Each one of us has to find out what that means to us individually. There is an empowering that comes to us when we lose our lives for Christ. There is a blessing which accompanies the giving away of our gifts. Faith in following Jesus in these matters is at the crux of our actions. We may never see the results of our giving, but Christ has the power to take what we offer and give and use those gifts to bless the life of another. Christ can use our gifts. Our trust is not in the giving. Our trust and faith are in Jesus as the Christ to do what he says will happen as we follow his way. Consider, if you will, what kinds of gifts you have been given, how you're using those gifts, and how might you use those gifts in the coming days and weeks of your life.